What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So we've been running through several different fragrance lines and fragrance brands, ranking what I own from worst to best, and it's been pretty fun. Seems like others are doing it as well. It's a fun format, it really is. So I'd like to stress one more thing once again, because this happens in every single one. Why is this not here? Can't believe this isn't in your list. So I state again, these are the ones I own. Capiche? Okay, so this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 fragrances from the house of Davidoff. Admittedly, a lot of them are cool water line, but I do have a few other things as well. And we're ranking them from my least favorite to my favorite, or in this case, the worst one. It's shit. Let's discuss. Stay tuned. So some of you know right away when I say the worst one is shit. You know, I thought it was the worst release of 2023. It smells like fresh water and body odor to me. And I know not everybody feels this way. And if it doesn't work out that way for you, that's great. But for me, Cool Water Oceanic Edition is shit. This is terrible. It's one of the worst things I've ever smelled. I just get this, like, any of you that played football in high school, the way that the locker room smelled after a game with the shoulder pads and all the sweat and everything. They bottled it. Maybe you don't get that. I get that when I spray it in the air, when I spray it on skin. It doesn't matter. There's something about it. Maybe it's my nose. It's probably the fragrance, but maybe it's my nose that's creating that. So worst was definitive here. There was nothing else that was going to be ranked at the bottom of the barrel here. Normally, it's just what's my least favorite, like in the Jean-Paul Gaultier video. It's like, I like all of them. This is just my least favorite, where I don't like this. This is a bad fragrance, in my opinion. And again, if you like it, more power to you. I'm not hating on you. I'm kind of hating on this fragrance, which I seldom do. So it's got to be truly bad to me for me to sit here and tell you how fragrance is complete shit. Davidoff Cool Water Oceanic Edition. Now, I know this is one of the summer editions. I forgot which year. I got this recently. I haven't spent a lot of time with it, and that's the only reason it's ranked where it is I just haven't spent a lot of time with this. This is Cool Water, I believe, Summer Edition 2021. I want to say, I got to go look back in my videos. It smells nice. I just haven't spent a lot of time with it. I'll give it a little spritz on the hand. It's citric, fresh, watery, a little shower gel-like, clean, you know, not anything wildly original to stuff they haven't done before. It smells very nice. Has a little bit of the ode to the actual original Cool Water DNA. Got a little bit of that aromatic green smell. It's quite nice. It really is. I just don't have a lot of time with it. Again, I want to say, I could be wrong here. I got to go back and look, but I want to say it's summer 2021 or 2022 potentially. Might be 2023, but I think it's 2021 or 2022. But yeah, that's the only reason it's ranked where it is. The bottle looks gorgeous. Love the gradient color scheme to this with the mirrored cap. It just looks good, right? But yeah, I haven't spent a lot of time with it, so unfortunately it's got to be ranked down low. Cool Water, I believe Summer Edition 2021. Now this one in particular, they've rebottled. So it's also Street Fighter Edition. It's Cool Water Aquaman. So it's the same fragrance rebottled. Well, just put in, yeah, rebottled, I guess, because I was going to say different print on the bottle, but they still fill the bottles. To the Street Fighter Edition. It's a solid fragrance. It's a little on the citric side. Freshwater aquatic, like a lot of their fresh fragrance flankers like this in the Cool Water line, all kind of have a theme. They're oceanic in some form or fashion with citruses. Sometimes they have extra greens. Sometimes they're a little heavier on the musk. This one's got a little bit extra woods to it. I believe the citrus is orange, and I forgot what else. I could be wrong here. I believe it's an orange citrus. Yeah, it smells like orange to me. Again, nothing super unique or super special. When we start getting a little bit higher in this list, that's where they're a bit more remarkable in my opinion. So again, it's good, it's okay, it's nice, it's just nothing special. So hence why it's ranked down low where it's at, ranked at number 11. If you ever see it out in the wild for cheap, you know, aside from this, I've never had a bad instance of grabbing a cheap cool water flanker out in the wild or adding to cart online, because they're always at least pretty good. Most of the time they're not going to be special. There's few exceptions, which we will discuss, but decent fragrance nonetheless. Cool Water Aquaman. Now this next one's solid. Doesn't get a lot of love. Been a little while since I've worn it myself, but we're talking about Davidoff Hot Water. We keep talking about cool water. What about Davidoff Hot Water? So what's hot about this? A lot of spice. Peppered, a little green, ambery, like nothing really all that fresh about it, but there's a little bit of freshness. More of an aromatic tone. There's a soft powdery nature to this one as well. It's actually quite nice. Very underappreciated. I don't think anybody talks about this one. I found this one at, I want to say Marshall's, when I was visiting in Louisiana within the last couple of years, because I typically go back every August for my fantasy football draft. And this was one of those trips, I want to say 2 years ago. Might even been 3 years. I think 2 years ago. Decent fragrance, solid fragrance, to be completely honest with you. It's just one I haven't really spent a lot of time with. Again, it just doesn't speak to me to the point of wanting to gravitate to it, because the collection's gotten so abundant at this point that something's really got to speak to my taste. Not necessarily be a special profile, just speak to my taste for my everyday wear type of vibe, the casual days that I have. And this does do that well. I'll have to get this back in the rotation this fall, because while not the worst choice in the heat, not the best choice in the heat, I think spring and fall, the transitional seasons, will suit this a bit better, because it's loaded with different spices that do warm it up a little bit. There's, again, some freshness, but decent performer. Just flies under the radar, doesn't get any love. It's Davidoff Hot Water. Now this is one I have not wore in years. I think when I was at Mercedes was the last time I wore this fragrance. It was around the time I got it when I lived in Texas. Worth a revisit. It's a fresh, very woody vetiver. Has its share of spices, but still very, very fresh nonetheless. This is Davidoff Horizon. Not a bottle I have touched other than the pack to move in a very long time. Gimmicky, by the way. You gotta move this down just to spray the atomizer. It does smell nice, kind of in the vein of a Terre d'Hermès without smelling exactly like it, because you have citrus, it's woody dominant. There's some spices, a little bit of an ambery resinous tone to it. It's just not super earthy, it's more fresh and woody. It's actually a decent fragrance. I believe there's an extreme flanker as well that at one point I was like, oh, I need to try that, but I never got around to it. So there's a little bit of a dent. You know, there was a time when I was spraying it, I was rocking it. It's decent. You know, one of the few vetivers that I ever kind of resonated with years ago before I really came around to vetiver. This was when I had this thing with vetiver. So just goes to show how approachable and easy of a fresh woody vetiver this actually is. It's Davidoff Horizon. Now this one's decent but basic. It's not what I hoped it would be, but it's okay. Still like to try the Eau de Toilette. It's Cool Water Reborn Eau de Parfum. I picked this one up last year. It's green and woody. A little earthy, but not anything crazy and challenging. Again, it smells decent. Very cedar dominant. I believe there's a little bit of galbanum. This is what gives it that green feel. Like, it's got this fresh, earthy, woody feel to it, without being loaded with citrus or any watery notes or a bunch of aromatic notes. Again, it's not special. It's not remarkable. You see, that's kind of a theme with a lot of these fragrances. Not special. Nothing endearingly just like, oh my, I need to wear that today. About most of these fragrances. I mean, we're pretty much at the halfway point now. And I'm still saying these things. So just shows there's a lot of mediocrity in the Cool Water line and from the house of Davidoff. At least as far as some of the stuff that I have now, the stuff that's much better, you'll hear me raving about in a little bit. But again, it's okay. I would like to try the Eau de Toilette at some point. I need to spend some more time with it. I wore it a couple of times last year when I got it, but it's nothing that really moved me to the point to where I'm like, oh, yes, they got a home run here. Because it's just not the case. Cool Water Reborn Eau de Parfum. So now we're starting to get into the ones that I really like. So this one in particular, there was a time when I was raving about this fragrance. I still think it's a great cheapie. It's in the vein of the original Azzaro Wanted, Spice Bomb Night Vision, EDT. If you don't like those, you won't like this. But if you do like those, this is the most affordable of the bunch. It smells just like them. It's Davidoff Run Wild. Oh, yeah. This is a good one. Above average performance, kind of falls in that 6 to 8 hour range. little bit of that Invictus bubblegum smell with some spice. It's so easy to like, such a crowd pleaser. Good young man's fragrance, good everyday wear for somebody that just wants something enjoyable that smells good, might get you a compliment or two. Solid performance. I do quite enjoy this one. Little half a spritz on the hand. It's good stuff. I'm telling you, it's good stuff. Now you can see I've perked up. We're starting to get to the ones I really enjoy. I just love the way that smells. I love the way that smells. Very much like a Zara Wanted and a Night Vision EDT. So has maybe not the level of Spice Bomb Night Vision EDT, more so like Wanted, which Wanted doesn't get any. None of the ones I'm talking about get any love. You have to like, if you like one, you'll probably like all. So if you don't like either of those, you won't like this. If you do enjoy either of those, there's a good chance you'll enjoy this, and it's a nice little cheapy gem for you. So underappreciated. It's good stuff. It's spicy Invictus in many ways. Davidoff Run Wild. So when I got this a couple of years ago, I went on a stretch when I first got it of wearing it religiously. For like 2 or 3 weeks in my rotation, I wore it most days. Did a full review on it. I'm a huge fan of this one. This is one of those random special editions that they did in the Cool Water line. This is Grapefruit and Sage. This is a good one. There's another one kind of in the 8-hour range. It gets touted for being like a lighter version of the Intense, and I can see where they're coming from, but the way this is, the acidity of the grapefruit, so there's no like sharpness to the grapefruit. It's a kind of a juicy, smooth grapefruit, and that's due to, I guess, this sage note kind of smoothing things out. So it lists grapefruit and sage in the notes. It's literally in the name. But when you smell it, it's got a little bit of a musky, woody, and even slight fresh spicy tone to it. Just a little bit, but definitely a little bit of a musk that comes in as it settles down. I actually get really good performance out of this one. Like I said, more in that 8-hour range. Projects pretty hard for like 2 hours too. I don't know how easy it is to get this these days, because again, they put out so many of these limited run flankers where they might do one giant batch, and whenever it sells through, it sells through. I don't know if that was the case with this. I know it was supposed to be a limited edition kind of thing. I'm pretty sure it's not in production anymore, but if you can find a bottle for cheap, I'll see if I can find a link down below for you guys. But this is actually really good. You can wear this one year round. This is signature scent stuff in the line. It's got the freshness. It's aromatic without being soapy, a little musky and woodsy. It's nothing complex. It's nothing super unique. It just really works. It's just a solid offering from them. Cool Water, Grapefruit and Sage. With that comes its big brother, Cool Water Intense. Now this one I do recommend quite often over the years. Monster Performer. And go ahead, for the few of you that are going to comment and say, bro, I don't understand. I took your advice on it and I get like 30 minutes. I get an hour and it's gone. I don't know. Maybe I need to spray more. Is it a maceration thing? I can't smell it after 2 hours. And I sprayed it 12 times. I've seen all that stuff over the years. And then the majority is like, oh my God, one spray fills a room. Because you can do 2 sprays of this one and get away with it. It's got this bubblegum, coconut amber kind of thing going on. It's playful, youthful, fun, compliment-getting blue fragrance. Smells nothing like Cool Water. They just put it in a Cool Water bottle. This is not an Intense take on Cool Water. Intense is in really strong and long-lasting, but as far as the profile, I get zero relation to Davidoff Cool Water here. This might be, I guess, fall into the consideration of a cash grab, which I don't know how well it sold, but it's a damn good fragrance. It's one of their best for sure. If you're looking for just crowd-pleasing, mass-appealing stuff, easy going. If compliments is what you seek, more than likely with this, compliments is what you will receive. People are going to smell you. It's really, really strong. To go back to my initial point, if you experience any of those issues that I spoke on, that the comments I've seen about weak this and doesn't perform that, anosmia is a real thing, guys. Nose fatigue, olfactive fatigue, we all experience it from different aroma molecules. It happens to all of us. Literally every human gets it in some form or fashion. And with this being strong and synthetic, I'm not surprised that that happens to people. It happens to me. It'll fade, and then it'll come back strong as hell once my nose comes back around. This is a beast, a straight up monster, and is to be treated as such. This is not a friendly fragrance for a heavy sprayer. And you can find it around 40 bucks or less still for 125 ml. This is definitely one of their best offerings. It's Cool Water Intense. Now, I'm a fan. Okay, the price has gone up a little bit. It's like 40 bucks now. It used to be like 20. 200 mLs were less than 30 bucks. So I don't know if it's because it's not in production anymore. That could be the case. I don't know if it's not in production. But I would assume with the price hike it is. But it's still a straight up cheapie. Now, performance is nothing special. This is one of the first unboxing first impressions videos ever on this channel, as well as one of the first full review fragrance videos on this channel. Not the first, but one of. I think it's the second full review. It is Davidoff Cool Water Wave. I still love this fragrance. Straight up fresh shower gel fragrance. Smells a little bit like Cool Water. A lot of the blue shower gel smell, plus Invictus Aqua. Sichuan pepper hit juniper berry gives this very juicy gin-like aromatic tone. Some greens and woods. C notes gives a little bit of a saltwater feel. Such a fresh, like light blue shower gel kind of smell. I'm a fan. 3 to 5 hours range in longevity. You can spray this one heavy. You can bathe in this fragrance. You can. You heavy sprayers, you're definitely going to spray this one heavy. You're going to want to, especially if you're used to spraying strong stuff heavy. You psychopaths will probably crack the bottle open and just pour the damn thing on you to try to get the desired projection you're looking for. If you're the 15 spray red tobacco type or Cool Water Intense, that's a monster. But this one, again, it's not a must-have. It's just always resonated with me. The first time I smelled it, I was kind of like, oh, that's pretty good. Then I started wearing it, I was like, it's getting pretty damn good. And the more time went on, it's like, damn, this is such a great cheapie. Then it's turned into, man, this is one of the best flankers they've ever done. It just continues to grow and grow and grow on me. This is such a great fragrance. Great for the gym. Great on a hot summer's day. Great for running errands. Great for work as long as you can keep the bottle with you to refresh, because it's not going to make it through a work day. I don't care how good your skin is and how strong your nose is. It just smells good. It's a very bright and uplifting fragrance. I highly encourage it if you get an opportunity to try it. It's Cool Water Wave. Now this reminds me of a little bit of Armani Code, a little bit of Prada L'Homme, a little bit of that tonka bean smell, some fresh iris. It's a little creamy, a little powdery. There's some touch of spice, some woods. Davidoff The Game. One of my favorite rack store pickups I've ever had. I believe the bottle's different now. It's a stack of poker chips. Love it. Love that it's a stack of poker chips. Again, I think it's different now, though. That is so good. That is so Armani Code meets Prada L'Homme. It just, and it's an old fragrance. I think it's like a 2008 release or something like that. It's not anything new. That smells so good. It's been a little while since I've smelled it. This was like my favorite rack store pickup of last year. I picked it up last year, if I remember correctly. Man, if you can find this one and you like iris, it's one of Davidoff's best releases ever, in my opinion. Hell, it's number 3. In my 13, it's number 3. Number 3 of all things. Yes, the final 2 are Cool Waters. I like Cool Water. What can I say? But I really, really enjoy Davidoff The Game. Again, it's, if you can picture what I would say like 30 or 40% of Armani Code's profile with the remainder percentage being Prada L'Homme, you basically get this with above average performance. It's Davidoff The Game. Number 2 is one of the greatest men's fragrances of all time. Davidoff Cool Water. The Eau de Toilette. This is my mild deodorant spray that I like to wear out the shower. Literally, last week I wore out the shower. And this is a rebuy Eau de Toilette from a few years ago. I revisit once in a while. It's 4.2 ounce. I've had multiple bottles over the years. This was my little brother's signature scent for most of his life. God, I'm old. My little brother is 32 now. So, be 33 in a few months. God, I'm getting old. So is he. But point being, since he was a young teenager, he would get a bottle of Cool Water every year. And to the point to where I got away from Cool Water because he was wearing Cool Water all the time. It's so good. So it's a minty aquatic. It's got that old school feel green, very green, mint aromatics. There's tobacco listed in here, which I don't get a distinctive tobacco note, but there is some earthy green tones to it, but it's just so fresh. Between the mint and the C notes, it's hyper fresh, timeless. Timeless stuff, never gets old. I don't think it's a bad time to wear Cool Water. Even though it's a fresher profile, it's more geared for spring and summer. Signature scent stuff. Yeah, there's a little bit of a tie in the Green Irish Tweed. Cody Aspen. Closer to that because of the greens, but still, it doesn't have all the mintiness. It's not aquatic. I think for the money, of all the stuff that smells in that vein that's still kind of its own fragrance, Cool Water, the original Cool Water, is the way to go. You can get bottles like this, 4.2 ounce, $30 or less. They got a multitude of bottle sizes, products, mild deodorant sprays, deodorant sticks, shower gels, aftershave lotions, aftershave splashes, flankers galore, some that have nothing to do with this profile, some that stay true to this profile, which my number one is my number one for a reason. You will see, some of you know what it is. But put some respect on Cool Water's name. This is one of the, in my opinion, I believe it to be fact though, I think a lot would agree with me, one of the greatest men's fragrances of all time. Davidoff Cool Water. And last but not least, I wore it last week, Cool Water Parfum. Best flanker they've ever done. So even though it doesn't smell exactly like what a Parfum flanker of Cool Water would be typically, not what you would expect anyways, it does have a similar feel without having the same notes. It doesn't have the mintiness, but it's got a sweet pepper smell from pink pepper. Got some sharp lemon for the citrus, a woody, slightly smoked, earthy vetiver smell, and some freshness that kind of gives the aquatic tone that they don't list ambroxan, but I sure distinctively smell ambroxan. It lasts a long time. It's present without being overwhelming. It's professional and refined, but you can get away with a t-shirt with this one. It's nice and spicy. It's a woody, spicy fragrance that manages to be super fresh at the same time. Sharp woods too, like a cedar note. So good. So good. My God. I don't know how easy it is to find these days. I hope they didn't discontinue it. I found this 50 ml for $20 at a Marshall's. I've always wanted to grab 100 ml. It was pretty hard to find when it was a relatively new fragrance a few years ago, but I'm glad to have this bottle. 50 ml is all I really need. I've got over 2,000 fragrances. I'll probably never go through this, but I do love to revisit this one because, in my opinion, it's their best work from the house as far as what I've tried, and as far as what I've tried in the Cool Water line, because I don't even have close to all the Cool Waters that have come out over the years, but it's the GOAT. This is the man right here in the Cool Water line. At least I think so. If you've never tried this, you're missing out. You really should if you can. My favorite, Cool Water Parfum. Well, that's ranking from worst to best. The 13 fragrances from the house of Davidoff that I have. And until next time, do me a real quick favor. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, because I do appreciate all the feedback, and I love hearing from you guys. What's your favorite from Davidoff? Comment down below, because there's a bunch of stuff I don't have from them that you probably enjoy and or don't like. Let me know down below what you guys think. Until next time, I will say if you get your hands on any of these and you give them a spray now, you might end up thanking me later. Except for this one. If you like it, good for you. But if you get this, I warned you. Don't get mad at me if you don't like it, because I told you I can't stand it. Oceanic edition? Ugh. Have a good one.